There's thousands of RVs out there on the road at the moment fitted with RV Wi-Fi. Now, RV Wi-Fi is a 4G or 5G mobile internet router designed specifically for your van. But like all 4G and 5G devices, they are dependent on cell towers, and that means if you're out in a remote area, you're not going to get a signal. But what if I was to tell you there was a way to easily upgrade your existing RV Wi-Fi system so that it was compatible with Starlink? That means you'd be able to get an internet signal whether you're in Lawn Hill National Park or Cameron's Corner. Now, I've got Ross from RV Wi-Fi. He's setting up behind me and he's going to take us through this product, but I tell you what, it just looks so simple and easy. So Ross, for those who don't know, tell us a bit about RV Wi-Fi.
Well, RV Wi-Fi, we started about 10 years ago. At the time, there was no other Wi-Fi or internet connectivity for caravans product. And we thought, well, why not? Everything, the kitchen sinks in a caravan, we should have Wi-Fi, it's everywhere. Because at that time it was social media, people posting. It wasn't so much about streaming video or Netflix or work phone calls and things. Over the years, we've progressively improved and done further iterations and upgrades on our product, as you'd expect. And with that line of products, we've obviously got our 5G out now, which has been out probably 18 months. And we've actually had 2 versions of that now as well with upgrades. It's very good, very fast product.
But as you said, you've always been dependent on cell tower coverage. Starlink's come along and absolutely changed the game. So Ross, what have you done to make your RV Wi-Fi product, compatible with what Elon Musk has put up in the sky?
Yeah, that's a really good question. So our 5G product, in fact, all of our products have had a satellite integration capability. We always anticipated something would come sooner or later, and Starlink has come along. We've got great coverage. The big thing with caravans is lots of them are 12 volt. So we've already got a 12 volt router. We need to be able to make the Starlink work off a 12 volt power source. If you just buy a product from a shop or online, the Starlink comes along and it's really set up for mains power. So we've got some components that we add to that to get it running off 12 volts. The other things we've done is make some plugs and things so it's very easy to set up when you're setting up your campsite.
So effectively, we've got the RV Wi-Fi, we have the DishyDock that plugs into the RV Wi-Fi system and picks up a 12 volt power source nearby. And then you've got the antenna cable that can come through a through-the-wall connection out to the Starlink dish.
That's correct. That's it in a nutshell. It's really important to use the wall connectors just really for your convenience. Otherwise, you've got to run a cable out a door or a window or something. So having the wall connectors just makes it easier to use.
To me, Ross, it sounds like a very simple plug-and-play system that just about anybody could actually set up for themselves.
And it is. That's exactly what we've been aiming for. We've always tried to make it as easy to use as possible. They're technical products. Some people like to get into the tech. Other people just want it to work. Once you install, when you're traveling, very easy to use. The other things we've done, the technical things that our customers don't need to worry about so much is though we're using a thing called the DC-DC boost circuit, which is really efficient. So the Starlink dishes use a lot of power. So it's really thirsty. We want to make sure that our voltage converter is as efficient as possible so that there's less waste. When you're off-grid and you're using Starlink, your batteries and the life of your batteries really matter. So we want to put as minimum overhead as we can on those batteries. And we've designed a really efficient DC-DC boost converter circuit so that the amount of overhead is as small as it can be. And then additionally, the amount of overhead on your batteries when the Starlink's not in use and it's in standby mode is still as small as it can be, so your batteries, you get as much life as possible.
Speaking of features, Ross, I know that the cabling that you provide, as well as the various connection points, are also important.
So it's a data cable and a power cable. And so what we've done is create these cables that are kind of just Cat6A that are quite common, but the copper in them is a heavier grade of copper than what's normal, which means it's better for carrying power, less loss, you get greater speeds over greater distances, and it supports multiple connections better as well.
And even the little connectors at the end, we don't need to, splice in our own new connections or anything like that.
Oh, no. We don't want to have our customers have to cut and join cables and do all those tricky things. It's just click it in, click it out.
It's a true plug-and-play system.
Plug and play. That's been our target all along.
So there have been a couple of, iterations of Starlink and their dishes. Do you support all variants?
Well, there's been 3 or 4 variants so far. The 2 predominant ones in Australia are Generation 2 and Generation 3, and we support both of those. We've got examples of them here today. We've got a 5G router, which works with cell towers, 5G. It also supports 4G and 3G where it's still left. We've got a 4G router, which has got a lower price point of entry. And then we've got another one that we call DishyDock router, and that doesn't do cell towers at all. Now, all 3 of them integrate with Starlink, The ones that have a cell tower capability, they basically automatically decide if you've got your Starlink plugged in and powered on, it'll use Starlink. If your Starlink isn't plugged in and not powered on, it'll search for a cell tower and try to use that.
But what do you see as the benefit of having both? You've got a terrestrial, 5G Telstra connection, but you've also got a Starlink connection.
Yeah, well, it's the best of both worlds, really. When you're camping, your Starlink dishes out. So that's not working for you when you're traveling. While you're on the road, then your 4G or 5G can work with a cell tower. So you get that benefit. Equally, if you pull up at a site that's got good 5G coverage, for example, and a lot of towns do now, you don't need to get at your Starlink.
And you can also pause your Starlink account, can't you?
Oh, that's a really good point. Yeah, so you've got a monthly plan with Starlink. So if you're going away for a couple of months, you unpause your Starlink, you go away, then you're using it, and you get home after a couple of months. You might not go away again for 6 months, and then you unpause it again when you head off on the road again.
So you're really getting the best of both worlds out of this system, and better yet, it is just so easy to set up. But I did want to ask you about fitting those through-the-wall connections, and do you have any solutions to make that a little bit easier for people?
Every van's different, so it's hard to come up with a one-size-fits-all approach. But what we have is what we call external weatherproof, waterproof ports. Now, if you're getting a new van, I recommend you get your installer to go and fit that for you then, because it's way easier. But once it's in, then you've got a port on the outside of your caravan that you just plug your dish into when you get where you go. It's very easy for when you're on the road then. It's a 5-minute set.
I just think, Ross, that some people might think to themselves, oh, this Starlink business, it's all so hard, so difficult, I don't know how to do it. But really, just looking at your system, just about anybody can work this out for themselves.
Well, we've tried very hard to make it easier for people to use, but Starlink's amazing. You get coverage everywhere. It's the internet everywhere. We just haven't had this opportunity in Australia.
Righto, Ross, you brought the products here. Let's open them up and see what you get in the box.
Okay, let's have a look.
Ross, you picked a heck of a place to set up and show us this product. Now, we've got a number of different sort of add-ons and things that we can do. What have we got here specifically?
So these three here are our routers. We've got the 5G, the 4G and our DishyDock router. So they're all quite similar from a Starlink point of view. They all come with a standard Telstra SIM card and of course a user guide. All right, so this is our 5G router. We've got the QR code on there which gives us our user guide. You just scan that with your phone, user guide. It's online, so you never lose it. Now this router has a thing called 4x4 MIMO, which means there's actually 4 antennas that connect to the cell tower, which means downloads are 4 times faster, uploads are 4 times faster. This is quite an upgrade. Other products only have a 2x2 MIMO, so this is much faster. And then here we've got our 4 Wi-Fi antennas. It's a really very capable product, and our Starlink plugs in here as well. So we've got our 4G router. Our 4G router is quite similar to the 5G, obviously, except it's 4G. External antennas still if you want to put one up on your roof, or still Starlink compatible. From a price point perspective, you still get the benefit of cell tower access for a lower cost than our 5G product. And then finally, we have our DishyDock router. This is a Starlink only. There's no cell tower capability. It's just about Starlink. I will note that all 3 of these routers with Starlink, the download speeds we're getting at the moment, 200s up to sort of mid 300s. We've had a couple of downloads. Really fast, really awesome. The other thing I'll show you, because this is relevant for the cell tower, we have this antenna, we call our 4-in-1 antenna. This is for cell towers and for Wi-Fi. Now inside here is actually 4 antennas. 2 of them are for cell tower access and 2 of them are for Wi-Fi. So installing this up on the roof of your van, obviously it gets you better reception for the cell towers. But then secondly, we've got 2 Wi-Fi antennas, and when they're up on top of your van, it throws the Wi-Fi signal right around your campsite. The Wi-Fi signal will travel far. It'll also travel into your tow vehicle while you're on the road. Finally, we have our DishyDock power and port products, our power adapter. So you can see here, 12-volt socket, very familiar 12-volt socket, and that's the DishyDock power that injects the power into the data line. And then finally, a couple of cables to go with it. We have an adapter here. So we use this with our weatherproof port. By us providing a cut-off cable like this means that you don't have to cut your cable. We supply cables at all different lengths. We've got cables to suit you, and by getting one of our cables, you know that it's made for the Starlink setup rather than getting something from somewhere else. You're going, I hope this is okay. It might, maybe yes, maybe no. So another thing we've done with all of our data cabling, whether it's these ones or these ones, and all of the ports, is they've got shielding on them. It's like alfoil wrapped up around the cable on the inside end to end. We've got shielding all the way and that helps with the speed of your data. There's radio waves and things that occur in the air that
Cause interference.
Yeah, that's right. And so the shielding protects the wires from that, and we get better speeds for our customers.
So there you go. If you've got RV Wi-Fi in your caravan or motorhome already, but you want to be able to upgrade, so you can access Starlink wherever you are in the country, these guys couldn't have made it any easier. I mean, Ross, this appears to be a really well-considered and really well-developed solution that it's a true plug-and-play system that's going to make it so much easier for the customer. My only question is, what's next for you guys?
Well, after all this, we're actually going to go do a little bit of travelling and use this gear. Be a working holiday, of course. We're never offline, but looking forward to a bit of travel, and then we'll be listening to feedback on how we can improve our product from there.
So RV Wi-Fi, you can now access Starlink through that system, which is just fantastic. And if you want more information, just go to rvwifi.com.au. Ross, thanks so much, mate. It's a terrific system.
And thanks, Max, for coming out and having a look. We're really proud of what we've done. It was great to share it with you today.